YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and this is the Highland Scotties Sports Talk here, as we just wrapped up week 3 of the NCAA season, and we're going to check out here. As you see there, Highland won that game 51-16. Woo, what a game it was there, as Highland was able to come out hot in the second half here, and we'll talk more about that here in just a bit. Get you guys some, let you guys in on some what the players said, some of the things the coaches said, and this was a really good game. Defensive, if you're one of those guys that love the defensive battle there, the tug of war and everything. First half was like that, and pretty much it seemed like that was going to be the case. Highland was able to score, I believe, they had one passing touchdown, and then later on scored a 2-point conversion in that half, and then actually scored 2 touchdowns in that first half, and then a 2-point sack, safety there on Washington State. Washington State was only able to score 3 field goals, giving themselves 9 points. At one time, it was just a 9-9 ball game, as both squads trying to get their offensives going, but at the same time, having their defensives try to play that tight ball game and keep their try to keep their offensive counterparts there still in the game, give them a chance here and there. I know, talking to Coach Teddy Bonds there, he says he was very happy with that first half and the things they were able to do for his, for them, but he was really, he's really hoping that they were able, with some of the new plays that they were working on for this past week, he was really hoping that they were going to be able to do something offensively and just get right out of the gate there. And of course, it took some time. I know with Kason, it was really important that even though they had, they still have all their starters, but not having your tight end, your leading receiver, your tight end, Hunter Cannon on the field. He was on the sidelines there in this game. Kind of felt kind of weird, but they were going to go with the passing game, but at the same time try to really open up that running game for Kason. And of course, Kason's running game was a bit slow. He had quite a lost yardage there in the game in that first quarter or so, but gradually over time it picked up, and we were able to, or I should say, they were able to get the game going and get themselves a chance to get him to open up the run a little bit more. Which once you open up the run, then you can get the passing game going there. Flanagan, of course, did have 2 interceptions there, but was able to start picking it up there and do a better job of reading. Coach Teddy Bonds was on him like flies on, the rest of that term in that game there when he threw those 2 picks there, and he just said, "Hey, son, read and react. He wants to make sure the interceptions do not become a thing from like last year. He wants the young man to be accurate with his passes and not throw the ball when he doesn't have to. So that's something that Coach Teddy Bonds says, hey, if you have to take a sack, take a sack. If you have to scramble, and make yardage, do that. But as long as you're getting positive yardage, as long as you're not getting, throwing picks, I don't care. Just do what you got to do." So I know in practice this coming week here, that's a lot of things they're going to be working on. He told the defensive players there, hey, don't give him any slack. They're going to be working on some different blitzing packages that they're going to be working on for the offense there, because of New Mexico State, what they are planning to run on them, and we'll talk about that a little later. But got a chance to talk to, like I said, I usually get a chance to talk with Coach Teddy Bonds for about 2 hours on Sunday afternoons, and then again on they have a press conference like events on Tuesdays, or Mondays or Tuesdays. And I get a chance, just with him and I just having a conversation about different things. And that was one of the things, he was really, one of the things he just praised was the game, was what the defense was able to do, keep them alive, and just make some good plays on the defensive side of the ball. Make sure that they don't, there's not issues on of what they're doing. They did have some hiccups there with with Kyle Sweet there for them in that game, when he has some deep pass. There was twice they threw deep there, and we just really blew that coverage there and just did not help us at all. We eventually, one of those we did pay for because we got caught when they threw that deep, and they got a hold of us there in that pass there. Just take a look there. There's that offensive holding, which I was really shocked because Kason, we hardly ever hear him. It's usually offensive lineman that we see a deal with. When it comes to what do you call it? Holding. So see a halfback get called for holding like that. It's like, okay, are you sure you called the right number? But yeah, Coach Dave Bones was very impressed with his team this week. And then, of course, one of the things I mentioned in the video there that he was talking to, Alan Lawrence, the offensive coach for Highland, offensive coordinator, I should say. He was, they were adamant. They were talking to each other during halftime there and said, hey, we got to move that ball. You guys got to get us going. The defense is keeping you guys in there. I don't want to have, overwork the defense. I don't want them to be out there, because at some point here, it's going to pop, the bubble's going to burst, and we're going to be in trouble. And so Coach Allen's like, okay, we got some play. We're going to start working on those plays. We're going to get those plays that we did at practice. And it worked out. It benefited us there for quite through the game. Everybody has some nice receptions, especially that one play, which you'll see probably later on in this footage here. You'll probably see that one play that I believe, I'm trying to see exactly where it's at. There's one play that that was Tolbert that made that play there, and Tolbert just tore it up there. Just did a great job of doing what he's supposed to do. It was play after play, and they made that play, and we were able to get open because it was pretty much a blitz. It looked like just blitzing. They were just coming out with a blitz. They bit on the play action, and then we were able to just throw on top of them and just take him to the house there on that one. So it was nice seeing that and doing that, and we were able to be pretty successful. As you take a look there, look at the numbers there for the from that first quarter and a half in this one. But yeah, that was a great play that Coach Allen did and called, and did a great job of calling that and helping out the ball club to his ability. But Coach Allen did a great job, and I actually got to sit down Coach Allen, I should say Coach Lawrence. Actually got to be able to sit down with him also too, and also the defensive coach David Sahib. Talked to those guys about the game and whatnot, and they said this was probably a big game. Not one of the big games, but it was a really good game. This is a turning point, and they're hoping that this will be a turnaround, and they'll see a lot more play. They say like games like this, they're going to try to utilize the second team also. They're going to try to get them in there and get them going and get them working. But yeah, I mean, just things were just firing during the second half there. You'll see here in these highlights. Some of you guys are seeing the highlights. If you're on the podcast, you're not going to be able to really see this, but if you're seeing the footage here on our YouTube channel, you're seeing the footage there of some of the highlights of the game there. But yeah, they just got a great job of putting the numbers, getting the guys out there. And then, like I said, they did put the second team out there. And the second team did a great job of stepping up and pushing the Cougars back and not letting them advance. And like I said, we only gave up 16 points, so that's awesome. I love it, and I just hope that it'll continue. And Coach Allen says, or I should say, all the coaches said, especially Coach Bond says, they're hoping that this continue on into the next couple of weeks. They got some big games coming up like LSU. I think I can't remember who the other schools were that were playing this season. But there are some big games coming up here, and they're they know that not every game they'll be able to score 51 points on a team. Coach Allen, Coach, all of them, especially Coach Bond, said that would be his dream. Just like back in the days where he was coaching at Nebraska. Those were really good days. They were able to score that much and then that often, and just putting teams away. But yeah, he knows what this team they're capable with and whatnot, and he just hopes that they'll get stronger, and especially with Kason. This is the third straight game that he had a very slow start. It didn't work out. It kind of, Coach Bonds was kind of like, hey, he was talking to Kason about this. We kind of talked about this with Kason, like, hey, what's going on with you and everything. And, he's like, hey, it's just, there's a lot of things that go into it, and he's hoping that, that more and more the offensive line will get better running. But the coaches are still trying to figure that out. Like, why is he having a slow start? And then once you get him going, he's on fire. And they just, they usually just want to stick with that running game, that part of it. When they can actually, kind of mix it up a little bit more and stuff. So, but yeah, the slow start with Kason, I don't understand what the deal is. But nonetheless, here Coach Teddy Bonds went on to say that he cannot be having these slow starts. They need to come out the gate firing and be red hot and ready to go when they go into went out there to running their play, especially the running game. They gotta get things going because that's what Coach Teddy Bonds he likes the running game. He likes to use that to really help out the quarterback, take the pressure off the quarterback, and really get those numbers up for those wide receivers so they can just start slinging the ball all around and up, over, under, all that kind of stuff. So but yeah, we'll see what happens in the game against New Mexico State, which will be on the road there coming up. And of course we have a bye week coming in week 5, and then we have 3 straight home or road games coming up, and we're gonna have a tough go because right after the bye week we have UMass on the road, and then we go to Wisconsin, who I believe is not ranked anymore. They were ranked number 22nd in the nation to start off the year, and then I believe LSU jumped up several spots from where they started off ranked at, which was ranked number 20. So we got some tough games coming up. Those weeks 6, 7, and 8 for us coming up. We'll talk more about that in a future episode. The bye week episode, we'll talk more about that, the schedule for those next couple of games. But I think just take a look here. I think the team did a great job of time possession. That really helped us out there. Like I said, slow start there in rushing. Wasn't able to get Kason going, but once we got to the second half, if you guys seen that video, and you guys can always watch the video. I'll have it posted up in the eye up there, but here in the video, you guys can go to the link and check it out. He has a slow start there, and I think what we'll try to do, I know, talking to Coach Lawrence, he said that he'll try to implement they're going to try their best to get the not just the play action, but also the when it comes to running, they're going to try to get they're going to try to look at some fullback plays, get the fullback involved in some of these runs, and then also you kind of get maybe have another back. Have the second string back in there in a couple of formations to help them out, get the running game going, get those rushing numbers up. But also the option. They've been working on that quite a bit here. We've seen it a little bit in this game. But that's what Coach Saban said. He loves the option. But for right now, he just feels like it's not suitable for us, for the team yet, because he doesn't feel like he has the offensive line. He doesn't feel confident the offensive line can do that as often as he likes to run it, because he likes to run it quite often. So I mean, that's something that, like I said, they're gonna have to look at, and it depends on just team. What teams they can get away with that with. A team like New Mexico State, they probably could get away with it, but New Mexico State does have some pretty good linebackers that can key on that stuff quickly there. So if we happen to run into them, we'll probably run a lot more than we did in this game, but it'd be kind of limited. There'll be probably a certain number of times how we would run it and when we would run it. I think I know talking to Coach Teddy Bonds again in that interview there we had with him, and he went on to say stuff like it'd probably be a goal line setting type when they're on the goal line, and just kind of spread the ball and just kind of stretch the ball out some in the goal line, so that'll work for them, because running up the gut there has been an issue, and teams have been able to just kind of, as soon as the ball snapped, jump right over right even past the quarterback and go right to the halfback there and kind of take him down. So they don't want that to happen. But yeah, they're going to be looking at some different things and whatnot going into the next couple of games when it comes to the option. But yeah, just take a look here. Just more footage of the game here. I really was impressed there. I mean, it was just a really great game. Flanagan a couple times there threw some tight plays there. I think there's one play I think in the first half, maybe go in the second half here. I think we haven't seen it yet, where he threw it a little, and he just threading the needle, and I'm thinking like, oh my god. Like, I was sitting up in the press box, I'm like, if this is a pick, Bonds is just gonna go to hell on him. And I actually talked to Coach Teddy Bonds about that, and he kind of just, when Flanagan came back over, he kind of looked at Flanagan like, okay, I know you could I know you could do that, but that could easily went the other way. But yeah, he knows he knows Flanagan has good arm strength there. But at the same time, Flanagan, he knows that Flanagan needs to be more watchful, more respectful about what's going on with playing against those these defenses, because these defenses are not always going to be nice about doing what they're doing. So yeah, he's trying to I don't know. I got a chance to talk to Flanagan also too after the game, and he was he said that it was dumb of him doing that. He should have waited, or maybe found a secondary receiver to throw to. But he said he felt it. He felt it. It was too. It would be too awesome to pass up, so he had to take it. And I mean, if it would have been picked off, he would have got chewed out. He would have took the chewing, and if coach told him to say, hey, you're gonna sit over here with me and watch the rest of the game, he said he would have had it and did that. So, but sometimes you gotta take the risk. I've been hearing a lot of people on the team saying if you don't risk it for you gotta risk it for the biscuit. So and that's exactly what he did in that play. So, impressive play there for for Flanagan. But yeah, a little dangerous because I was up in the press box watching the game, and it's just like, oh my goodness, like really. So, you see 37-16 here. I talked to it was Hunter Cannon. He was on the sideline there for the game, and I asked him about that play that Tolbert made. That play that the Cougars just I don't know, for whatever reason, just lost track, and they had nobody on him. And he said it would only happen to Tolbert. It wouldn't have never happened to him because he would have had 2 or 3 guys on him. He would have made a catch maybe. But it wouldn't have been a wide open pass or anything like that. So he said only Tolbert would, get away with something like that. And he was on the sideline there cheering for his team. He was giving those guys pep talks. Especially when the game was tight there in the first half, and kind of talked to Tolbert and the rest of the tight ends and the receivers like, hey guys, we have this. We just need to bust out these run. This running game can get going for us, or if they, we go to the passing game, just be ready. Your name, if you're not, your number's getting called, get ready for it and get down, get the ball and do what you got to do. So he was right there with the team. He'll be with the team next week as they go to New Mexico State to face the Aggies. But he was there, being a cheerleader on the sidelines there, talking with his teammates, giving telling what he was seeing there with the game, and letting them know, hey, you got to do this, do this to that and whatnot. So, kind of like the player's coach, even though right now he just can't get on the field. And he said that he admitted he was missing it, but he knows that he's got to sit out for a while because of the broken tailbone. But he said he's hoping that he can come back, and he'll come back stronger here coming up in this next here in a few weeks. So. It was like I said, it was a great game there. Did a great job. The team just really did a great job stepping up there in the second half. Defense was just remarkable. Offense finally came alive, and then not to mention Kason just tore it up. And I'm hoping that his numbers will be good enough because he had over 230 yards there rushing. I'm hoping he'll be player of the week and maybe even get some consideration for the Heisman talk because Flanagan, this time last year he was being talked to or not talked to, but being mentioned in a lot of the Heisman talk, and with the way he's been playing right now, he hasn't been doing too well. Throwing these interceptions has been kind of hurting him, but I think at some point here they can get that him to read the ball. There you see, you hear the lawnmower there. That is the field team. I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmower out in the background there, but that is the I'm out here on the field here this week, recording the show here. It was, for the most part here, it was a pretty decent game. The coaches were satisfied there. I mean, of course, there were some things they wanted to fix, and they were kind of harping on. But for the most part, I think coaches were very happy to see that this was a game that everyone was, playing their best, doing their best, and things were starting to click for them for the most part there, and that's always nice to see. So we'll see how that goes coming up here. As we go to the next game here, and there you see there, just that pad. That right there. That was just ridiculous. I cannot believe that was just bad defensive calling right there. It's like, I think they were expecting us to run the ball because we were already up, and they were up, quite a bit. But at the same time, it's like the game's not over with yet. I think we still had like 6 minutes left. So anything's possible. And that might be an overkill in some ways. As you see Wendell Cason there, 31 carries for over 200 and some odd yards. Yeah, it may have been overkill there for the most part, but I mean, you still got to play the game there, and that was just, could not believe that they were just playing that bad football here, this one, with such a tight, close game there. But, really, truly, Washington State, they lost 2 in a row now, 3 in a row against us, but 2 in a row going in this one. They played against Kansas State in week 1, and then played Clemson just a week ago. Really, the way the game was going, I honestly thought, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a game where things are going to turn around for them, and they're going to give us, the misfortune of, having a loss and, and it might be an ugly loss, or it'd be a close, tight game like it was a year ago. And that's what, like I said, Coach Teddy Bond says that was not what he was wanting to deal with. He did not want to deal with going to overtime and stuff like that like he did last year. It was just a toll on them, and just, of course, Flanagan be able to play the full game, and just take a look at the numbers there. He did a great job, and the team overall, I think the team just did a fantastic job, and the coaches are hoping now that taking this win and seeing what they did and implement it now for the next game, and getting ready for the next challenge ahead of them. They can do some pretty good things there, as they are still ranked in the top 5 here in the nation. So there you see the numbers: 251 yards there, 2 rushing touchdowns there, 3 broken tackles, and of course the yards after contact there for Cason, just ridiculous. 113 yards after contact with him. His longest was 54 yards, 54-yard run there for him, which just broke loose. 7 receptions, 105 yards, 1 touchdown there for Tolbert. Page, 5 receptions, 64 yards, 1 touchdown, and then Grady Little, 4 receptions, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns there for him. And the receivers had a great game there also. So we're trying to get some more touches here. I think they're trying to set up some. They did try some new plays in that game. We've seen a couple of those, but at the same time, they are going to implement some new stuff in the playbook here, and I think they're going to start more. I think they said hopefully by after week 5, because week 5 is their bye week, they'll have about 25 more plays or so for the guys to call on offense, because Flanagan says, hey, he's been talking to coach about changing up some stuff, change some swipe. So, there's some plays that him and the team really like, and Coach Saban is he's like, okay, I'm willing to go that route and do something that you guys feel comfortable with. So we'll see how that goes here coming up. But there's your numbers right there for Washington State. Not a good day there for Neville in passing or rushing, as he had a really, really tough game, and not like a game like he had last week against Clemson. But again, he comes up short here with another loss, and of course they'll have to go back to the drawing board here to figure out exactly what the deal would be here for them coming up. So take a look at their defensive numbers there. But like I said, really fun, great game, and this team just really did a great job putting up the numbers, and then of course gave some garbage time there to some of the younger players there, and got them exposed there to the field, and just a great victory there for Highland. Take a look here. We've got 2 recruits here coming, Himley and Collins, a right end and a corner, and they're ready to visit us And I don't know quite yet when they're going to visit. I believe it'll be after the bye week, so it'll be the I believe it'll be the Arkansas State game that they'll be visiting us for. I know there's some highly profile guys that we've been looking at for us, especially the corners there. Mark Collins, one of the decent corners out there that we recruited here, that we're trying to get to come, and he is a guy that we're going to try to go after really hard here coming up. But take a look at your rest of your week 3 games here. You got big game there, that Ole Miss and Boise game, 37-34 in overtime there. And I don't know, not too many upsets this week here. Just kind of just scrolling here. We got a couple of lopsided scores here, like most college football games. We got some lopsidedness here. A lot of FCS schools play this week, so they're in action here, and there's a lot of them that played, and a lot of them got beat pretty good. Now there you see that Wisconsin and Maryland game. Oh my goodness, 42-35. That'd been a fun game to watch. That Big Ten game there, and that Wisconsin able to win that one. So kind of when I seen that score, I'm like, okay, Wisconsin is not a team. Which, I mean, they're not. I mean, regardless of what their record is, they're not a team to be messed with. So that's something we're gonna have to look at. I may have to go back to that and see what the game was all about with them from Wisconsin side of it. There you see the classic Iowa State and Iowa game, 10-7 in that one, low scoring game there. A lot of heavy defensive game. Notre Dame, there you see beat Purdue in their rivalry game, 42-35 in week 3. And of course, we already made that announcement already, but we'll be playing Notre Dame for the next 2 years here, and it'll start next season. You see Michigan beat Miami, Ohio there in that big game, 41-7. And there you got some ACC action here. A lot of schools are starting, a lot of conferences are actually starting a lot of the conference games here early this year, either starting week 1 or week 2. For us, of course, we're just an independent school yet. We've already played with one independent school. We got one more to play, and then we got 2. Just 2 this year. Next year of course, Notre Dame, and I forgot who the other school was. I think it was BYU. I think it was the other one that we was going to be with playing wise there. And of course, that would be on the road also. But there you see Kansas winning a big game, 38-0 against FCS East there in that game. And there you see that game right there. Florida beating Tennessee 20-17. Tennessee still not have got a win just yet since they played us. Nebraska 1-2 there. They win their game 27-14 against Fresno State. Nebraska being Coach Teddy Bonds' former school he played for, and of course former school he also coached, and that's pre-YouTube days that I had. And then also too, let's take a look here. 31-24 Colorado against Hawaii. Pittsburgh wins 34-14 against Florida International. Close game there. UCLA versus Stanford, 37-33. And you see the Huskies 49-24 against the Fighting Illini. So those are your scores there for week 3. Hopefully your school has picked up a victory. We'll go on and see here that we have the top 25 here. So top 25 got, of course, Alabama at number 1, Oklahoma at number 2, USC at number 3, us at number 4, Washington at number 5, Auburn number 6, NC State number 7, number 8 it is Kansas. They jump up a spot there. Texas also jumps up a spot from 10 to 9. Oregon, Virginia Tech, Florida State, UCLA, Florida. You got Ohio State, Clemson, Louisville, Wisconsin's now at 18. Georgia, 19 Oklahoma State. And the rest you guys can check out there. There you see the teams that excuse me, have dropped out. Oregon and Oklahoma, Oregon, I believe, Oregon State, I think it was, that dropped out. And there you see the defensive players and offensive players of the week. And there you see K-Son, the Independence there. He is the offensive player of the week there. 31 carries, 251 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a 19-yard reception from him, helping out in that big victory there against the Cougars there, 51-16. Now, take a look here at the Aggies. The Aggies, of course, last year we played against them. Had no problem against defeating them. We hosted them. This year we're going to go down there. And this is one of the independent schools that also that we're going to be playing against. Pretty much, Herb has us the victors there in a lot of different areas in our game. But there you see their numbers for their program. And then you got a left tackle there. He's going to be out. He's kind of questionable if he's going to return in that game. But take a look there. They won against, they lost against Nevada 28-17. They won against FCS Southeast, I believe that is, and a big victory. And there you see the numbers there for New Mexico State. Now, we didn't have too much problem. I think we there were some defensive issues there. But I think for the most part, I think just trying to base off memory here, it's a pretty smooth game, and I think we did pretty well against them, and we'll try to see if we can do the same, do a little bit better this year, and get a victory on the road. There you see the numbers there for their quarterback. Last week he did not score a touchdown, but he did. He does play pretty well. He's pretty good. I think if I remember right, I think he's a pretty mobile quarterback. So we may have to keep a watch on him. There you see some of the defensive guys there that have some big numbers or attributes here. And the guys we're going to have to get away from. I know in the running game last year they did a good job there, kind of suppressing the running game from the linebackers. And then, of course, their corners. They got a decent corner there. There you see 92 speed, 92 accuracy, agility 91. Not so good, pretty decent, I guess you could say, fairly decent when it comes to the man and zone coverage. So throwing deep, not maybe an option that we'll go with. We'll probably stay in the middle range, kind of a medium, passing game. But for the most part here, you see the left end there. He can get us pretty good there. So running wise is going to be an issue. I think pass blocking may become something here. That was not an issue for us last week defending the pass rush, but it may be something this week that since it was not a problem for us last week, I think New Mexico State may try to make that an issue with us. And then of course putting pressure on Flanagan and getting him to throw the ball before he wants to. It's something that I think Coach Davon's talking to him. He was kind of mentioning it and said that, hey, this is something that could be a problem for us. Wide receivers there, you see he has some pretty decent numbers there, and as one of the key receivers, top receivers right now, is doing pretty well for the season, and he will have to be dealt with here. Cannot have a game like we did with Sweet getting over 100, almost 200 yards on us alone. Of course, he did get a touchdown off of us. And then you see another fairly decent wide receiver there, Drew Dan Jr., 6'3", 191 pounds. And then you see the quarterback there, and like I said, somewhat mobile, but he does have a strong arm and pretty good accuracy there, decent accuracy I should say. And of course, like I said, we were just try to contain him as best to our abilities and make sure he stays put where we want him at, and that's stay in the pocket. Don't let him get out too much here, and just kind of make sure we can do what we need to do. And then the running back, I was trying to look at the running back. They don't have the best running back here, but he does have some good speed here. his number, I didn't get a chance to look at his season numbers here, but this might be a guy that we may have to watch out for here with the running game. Someone we might have to contain him. I believe he's like a 78 overall, but if you look at his number, he looks like a fairly decent mobile, like a pretty good, running back here. I mean, he looks like he can get shot out there like a cannon. Speed of cannon, you see Hunter Cannon, 5 more weeks before we can get him back. That's one of our injuries here this week. And we'll take a look at their Sage there. He is going to be out for a while. He has a pulled hamstring, the left tackle there for them, so he will not be in the game. So the best bet is probably go, if he is the top linebacker, left linebacker, which he is, I think he's 83 overall. The left side might be the side that we may try to focus on to kind of penetrate and try to get away with the running game there. So we'll see how things go with that, as we'll take on the Aggies there. You see we're ranked number 4, still in the nation, 3-0. Aggies 1-1, and they'll try to see it take us on here in the second go around here this season, or second go around here in this series so far with them, against them, and we'll see how well we do. So that is it for this episode of this Scotties Sports Talk here. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Highland Scotties franchise or Dynasty here. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. The links are down below in the description. I will say the series Scotties, this series like this will probably go like this sometimes. Sometimes it'll be longer, sometimes it'll be shorter. But I'm trying a new format here for this video, or for these episodes here for the Highland Scotties. So let me know down below in the comment section if you want to see something different, or if you like, or if you like this, let me know. Kind of just trying to change things up here from time to time here for the Scotties Sports Talk there. So but that is it for me, you guys. If you guys again enjoy the video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and also hit that bell notification so you guys be notified when videos are up for this series or any other series here on ESGNet. That is it for me, and I will see you guys next time.